I'm talking to you today if you're an attorney that takes on candidate attorneys, or if you're the person in a law firm that is responsible for that function. Now, if you are, I hardly need to explain to you the problems with taking on LLB graduates who in fact are of little use to a law firm from day one. And you have to spend the next 2 or 3 months at least training them up in the basics of how to draft documents, how to do various things that a law firm does. Now, what a pleasure would it be if you received a person at an interview who already not only had an LLB, but knew how to draft the most common 90 documents that your firm uses. So you could say to that person on day one, go and draft a notice of intention to defend, go and draft a notice of set down, draft an affidavit, sit with me with this client and draft an affidavit of what they're saying in a proper format, and then add all the bits and pieces to make it into an affidavit structure. What would it be like if you could sit them down with a candidate or give them some notes with a client and give them some notes and say, draft a will for this person? How much better would that be? And that's basically what 90 Documents does. We take LLB graduates, they then, online mostly, partly face-to-face, they work through, often in the context of real cases, how to draft a particular document, how to draft a plea in response to a summons, how to draft a summons for a particular type of thing, for getting money back that hasn't been paid, or one of the other common things that happens. If your candidate can already do these kind of things as soon as they come to your office, how much more valuable is that candidate than one who comes out with an LLB, which obviously you need to have an LLB, but it's not enough to work in a law firm. So we work with, teach them the exceptions, Rule 30s, how to do all the normal documents, the most commonly used areas of the Uniform Rules of Court. Section 46A, we take them through all that kind of thing, and we use real examples. We also teach them how to use the legal research platforms like LexisNexis and Juta, one or the other, so that they can actually do legal research for you, and you know how time-consuming that can be, and find the right cases to back up your argument. Then things like drafting a will, contracts, the most common documents in criminal law are all there that they'll be able to draft. Memorandum of incorporations, according to the not so new now, but New Companies Act. And then we test them. We test them on everything that they are learning. So we have a huge database of questions in various areas of law where they can go through these questions, and it's multiple choice, so they can do it at their own pace, and it will tell them what sections they're weak on, what sections they're strong on. And when that potential candidate attorney comes to your office for an interview, you can sit them down in your office and show them, and they can go through the program, which obviously they'll be familiar with, and you can test them in your office to see how much they actually know about the subjects that are important to your law firm. So there's that whole thing as well. You can even give us extra questions to ask. So we are constantly interrogating the potential candidates to make sure that they are picking up and understanding what they're learning. And so they'll come away with a stock of precedents that they've drafted themselves, at least once or twice, and often for live cases, so it's not a stylized case and they can't deal with the real world things. They'll have seen a whole lot of real world examples. And so they actually have the documents in Word format that they can just change and use in your office. So very real world, much better than the kind of academic environment that many of them have learned in up till now. And then there's all kinds of new areas which have come up in the last few years, which even some attorneys are not familiar with. Case lines, people struggle with. We actually sell that course separately to attorneys, as well as using it as part of our course for potential candidate attorneys. How to get a date on case lines, how to use the sections, all these, and the hundreds of little nuances that case lines has, or that the directives have, as to how you use case lines. Also dealing with things like chronology, how to put chronology statements in, lists of authorities, all the things that have come in the last few years. And even with class actions, how a class action works, how to draft a class action, and litigation funding, if that should be involved. Now, don't get me wrong, however good our course is, a 3-month course is not going to make a raw LLB graduate experienced attorney of many years. That takes many years. But, and so you'll have to apply your minds to the documents that they give you. Not all of them will be exactly right. But how much better is that they give you something that you can use and has saved you an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours in drafting that document yourself, and you then just have to adjust it a little bit to what your experience tells you. Now, ultimately, we'll charge for these clients, these people we send to you, but at the moment, we will give them completely without any recruitment charge. What we're looking for is to build cooperative relationships with attorney firms so that you can feed back to us and perhaps give us positive feedback that we can use for marketing to further candidates to build our business. And also, some of the candidates, they pay only a little up front because they've got financial difficulties, and then they promise to pay the rest, they contract to pay the rest when they become a candidate attorney. So if you can cooperate with us, if you can agree to cooperate with us and taking that money off their account as they've contracted, then that's all part of us building a good relationship with you where the system is able to continue and more quality candidates can be delivered to your firm. So if you're interested in getting news of these kind of candidates, and if you want to tell us a bit about what your particular law firm specialises in so that we can cater to our clients, our training clients, being you, then please contact us at the email address below, and we'll be able to link up with you and find out exactly what your needs are. I'm back again. As somebody that wants to become a candidate attorney and ultimately a fully blown attorney and make large amounts of money, then let me tell you a bit about how to get into this program if you're struggling now to commit or to sign up, because there's a lots of different ways that we can structure this for you. Now, the full price of the course is 20,000 Rand. Now, if you think about it, if you're going to become a candidate attorney and earn, say, 8,000 Rand a month for 12 months, which is 100 grand roughly, for 2 years, that's 200 grand. So to pay 20 grand, to access that course, it's cheap. And if you think you might be some stage earning R1 million a year as an attorney for 20 years, that's 20 million versus 20,000 Rand. So it's cheap at 20,000 Rand. However, we have at various times various discounts and various different ways to do it just to assist you to get on board. So it's easy. The first thing is just a straight discount. So we give you a discount. Sometimes we've got discount plans. If you just pay that discounted amount, that's probably the cheapest and easiest way to access the court. I'm not going to access the course. I'm not going to tell you figures at the moment because they vary, but if you can just understand that there's different ways that you can get access, if you like. The second way is you can pay it off monthly. Now that's more expensive than paying it up front, but if that's what you need to do, then that's what you need to do. Now the third way is that you pay kind of in hours. So you do some work for our firm in return for the course access and everything that goes along with that. Now, in a way, that's quite a good way, because I mean, even if you're not taking this option and you're paying up front, you'll still get little tasks to do. But the main point then is to add them to your record, so that when you go and see an attorney, you've got a long list of 90 documents or more than that you have actually drafted in the past. The only difference with doing extra work in order to fund your course is that you might do a bit more of these kind of tasks, and it wouldn't necessarily be as directly related. It might be work that's not particularly legal or something, but there won't be a lot of it. So we try and keep it as legal as possible. So actually doing more work in order to pay for your course is probably beneficial to you as well, because all these things go in your resume, and you can then show that to a potential law firm employer, and it makes your list even longer if you do work. So that's the second thing. So you can get it at a discount sometime in some deals. You can pay something up front and then do some work as part of your, more work than normal as part of your way of contributing towards the course. And then the third way is that you can pay some of the money for the course when you become a candidate attorney. Now, think about what that says about us. This means we really believe that we can make you a candidate attorney, because if you never become a candidate attorney, then you'll never have to pay that money off. So we're taking a chance on you, and we're showing you that we believe in our course. Now, it's not always possible to do, it's not possible, for example, to do it all on the back end as a candidate attorney, but there can be very significant amounts in some of our deals, so that you can pay some only when we've achieved the result that you want and you're actually earning some money. So talk to us. We want to know what your circumstances are, and we'll try and make a plan which is suitable for you, so that you can actually access this course and be on your way to becoming a fully fledged candidate attorney like you did your LLB so that you could do.